everybody, welcome to an edition of Wrestling News with the Dude. For today's episode of Wrestling News with the Dude, we'll be recapping the episode of GTS from last Thursday and a recap of this week's episode of AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. First off, on GTS Wrestling, so whatever happened to the YouTube Wrestling Figures Heavyweight Champion, Duhop? Oh wait, this is not WWE. And besides, it's been almost 2 weeks since the YouTube champ Duhop appeared on GTS Wrestling. Grim said Tito the Clown is coming after Duhop, and Duhop doesn't believe that Tito is lurking him. Here's a question. How in the hell did Duhop not see this one coming? How does he not follow one of the few flaws that Tito is coming right at him, considering that he's the next challenger for the YouTube title? Anyways, Grim had to warn his brother. Tito gave Duhop a cheap shot from behind. And you know what's the problem? This is sadly the beginning of a rivalry between Tito and Duhop. Sure, Tito won the Obesius Regal Rumble and became the #1 contender, but Duhop was not there during that time. The match is going to be great, but the problem is that the match should have had some more build-up and storytelling. Grim really think that Tito would join his side just because he's ordering him to assault Duhop on the ground. Then again, Grim was forced to drink another load of vodka for a countless of times. But now all of a sudden, he wants to take a sip of vodka, all just to do an impression of Triple H's water spitting. And of course, Grim forced his brother to drink a waterfall from a bottle of vodka, and Grim thinks it's really necessary to spit his face. Honestly, I think Grim should not be involved in a feud between Duhop and Tito. Then again, simply because he's Grim, he will always make a name for himself all the time. Just like when the executive vice president Cody Rhodes gets into an AEW world title picture. The segment goes on and on, especially when Grim and Tito both punishing the YouTube champ in the middle of the ring. They even show us the preview of how it's going to look like when Tito defeats Duhop with Grim's slow 3 count. I mean WTF. Luckily, Duhop kicked out at the near fall. Tito was pissed off and punched Grim in the face. Grim pushed back and Tito retreats. Afterwards, Grim super kicks his brother in the middle of the ring. SHAMAR gets in the ring. He had enough of seeing him being down his own brother, so he literally pushes him, and Grim pushes him back and brutally beats him down in the middle of the ring. Grim said he's going to take the GTS title after he buries him shovel style at Clown Duels. Afterwards, Grim gave him a fat banzai drop to see a preview of what's going to happen at Clown Duels. Grim cut a promo about how SHAMAR shouldn't be the GTS champion because he doesn't drew the viewers. He then immediately put himself against SHAMAR for the GTS title rather than waiting for the pay-per-view show. The GTS roster didn't like the idea of seeing him facing SHAMAR for the title, and they were not happy that some of the guys are not booked for Clown Duels. So, Grim decided to give out an opportunity as he would put a Battle Royal match for the GTS title. After that, Grim wanted to ask Duhop something, and then he just hits him with a belt. Oh, here's the 2 problems. 1, Duhop was watching him for a few seconds. 2, this is probably a cliche. Wrestler asks his opponent something and then immediately hits with an object. So we got a Battle Royal for the GTS title featuring a cringe commentary from JNC Neutron Nutrition, Jimmy Controversy. Let's just skip to the outcome of the match, cause I know this match was too predictable. Grim was about to eliminate SHAMAR, but he kept monologuing too much and gets his ass kicked by Duhop. And then immediately afterwards, he gets eliminated from the Battle Royal. SHAMAR is still your GTS champion. After the match, Doo-Hop comes right after Jimmy and claims that he's Tito the Clown, and that concludes an episode of GTS Wrestling. There will be a prediction video for GTS Clown Duel soon, so stay tuned for that. Switching gears to this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, and so far this episode was just as good as every other episode of Dynamite. We kick things off with the semi-final of AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament. There were no introduction nor any entrance shown in the beginning, as we get a ring introduction between two teams, the Lucha Bros and Private Party. I gotta be honest, the match was pretty good. We had so many near falls. The match ended after the Lucha Bros hits with a combo of package pile driver and a double foot stomp. I knew that the Lucha Bros would move on to the finals. Next we had SCU versus the Dark Order in the semi-finals as well. The match is still as good as Lucha Bros versus Private Party. They actually know how to hype up the match. Oh, and not to mention that the Inner Circle invaded the arena, as they already bought the VIP ticket to the show. Jake Hager wasn't there because he was preparing for his next MMA fight. And as a result, Jake Hager's third MMA fight ends in a no contest. However, he is still undefeated in Bellator MMA. And not to mention, he still uses those three words, "we the people," despite the fact that Chris Jericho said, "we the people suck," and it's dead and buried. And of course, SCU picked up the victory and will move on to the finals, as they will face Lucha Bros next Wednesday. We had Joey Janela versus Kenny Omega in a regular match. This is the second time that these two wrestle off in the ring, because the last time we saw these two fought in a brutal match on the second episode of AEW Dark. I gotta be quite honest, this match was better than the second time these two fought each other on AEW. I mean, these two had a great chemistry together in the ring. The match delivered pretty well, and they delivered pretty much everything. And of course, Kenny Omega won after he hits with a V trigger, followed by a one ring angel. Next, we got a segment promo from Cody and Tony Schiavone. Cody wanted to deliver an announcement on Dynamite, and then Chris Jericho and the rest of the Inner Circle, minus Jake Hager, constantly blowing an air horn, and the crowd wasn't very into it. Cody said, "This isn't like the wrestling company we came from. This isn't the invisible wall right here." There you have it, folks. AEW has once again took shots at WWE on live television. Chris pointed out that Cody cannot handle a 4-on-1 situation, and then Cody received his backup to help fight with the Inner Circle, his brother Dustin Rhodes, his best friend MJF, and his mentor DDP Diamond Dallas Page. And you know what's funny? Chris Jericho said, "Who wears a scarf?" despite the fact that he's been wearing a $750 scarf. Cody broke the easily breakable glass with a scarf, and then both factions went at it. The brawl spilled into the concourse and even had Chris getting slammed into the Dipping Dots booth. This was an awesome moment right there. I mean, yeah, action speaks louder than words. We had another tag team action between the Young Bucks and Best Friends. Orange Cassidy gets involved and then gets super kicked before the match. The match was too damn good, of course. Obviously, the Young Bucks won. After that, they cut a promo and said they accept Ortiz and Santana's challenge. Thus, we will see these two fighting off at Full Gear. We got a women's division match between Jamie Hayter and Pittsburgh's own Dr. Britt Baker. In case you don't know, Jamie is Bea Priestley's partner in Stardom, which is a Japanese women wrestling company. Man, Jamie is a one crazy goth. The fact that the show took place in Britt Baker's hometown, obviously Britt Baker won the match, and I'm surprised that AEW Women's World Champion Riho is not even on TV this week. Honestly, The only thing that AEW needs to fix is the women's division. Oh, and not to mention, we had a post-match comment from Jamie Hayter, and all of a sudden, Brandy Rose randomly attacked her from behind. And we also had a main event between Jon Moxley and Pac. We had a pre-match assault when Pac attacked Jon from behind with a steel chair and took him out before the match even started. Pac has been dominating for the majority of the match. All of a sudden, Jon gets back to his feet, gaining his comeback and momentum. Two men went back and forth. Jon went for the paradigm shift and rolled for a 3 count. Pac surprisingly kicks out. Thus, the match ended in a time limit draw. Jon was pissed off and gave the referee a DDT. So that ends the episode of AEW Dynamite. Yeah, time limit my ass. If you have seen the special encore presentation of this week's episode, Pac attacked Jon from behind. He took out a steel chair and wrapped it around his neck, and he was about to do a black arrow onto his neck. All of a sudden, Kenny Omega came out and makes a save. Kenny and Jon stare each other down, only to kick Pac's bastard balls and clothesline him out of the ring. Out comes Hangman Adam Page. Pac started chasing away. Adam cuts a promo and said he will face him at Full Gear. Luckily, Jon didn't lose because he's currently being booked very strong prior to face Kenny Omega at Full Gear. On the other hand, well, Pac didn't want to lose because he has an ego and also has a backstage politics just like Hulk Hogan. As for this week's Wednesday Night War, AEW Dynamite drew 963,000 viewers, while WWE NXT drew 698,000 viewers. Both of these shows loses the amount of viewers due to the fact that there was a World Series game between Nationals and Astros. However, AEW once again beats NXT for the 4th consecutive time. And that is all I have for today, folks. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more content, and join the notification squad by tapping that little bell so you don't want to miss the latest upload on this channel. As always, goodbye, peace, and good day.